Well, who knew Twitter could actually be good for something? Now, this is a rumor, of course, but boy, am I hoping it's true. So this is a little thing that just showed up at Cosmic Book News. Release the Snyder Cut coming to HBO Max. Oh, wait, no, it's a documentary about the whole campaign. No. The Release the Snyder Cut campaign looks to have been a success, as is being reported. I guess by him, I haven't looked around. This is the one. I mean, maybe other sites are saying they're hearing the same thing. But anyway, looks to have been a success. That has been reported that Zack Snyder's version of Justice League will be released on Warner Media's new HBO Max streaming service that launches next May. So that was the most likely outcome if there was anything to be released. I would have rathered a Blu-ray, but maybe that'll happen down the road too. But yeah, I'm going to have to sign up for HBO Max. That'll get me in, because otherwise I wasn't really even going to bother. But then again, maybe the Green Lantern show they're going to do might be interesting. So, while an official announcement hasn't been made, numerous sources are offering that Release the Snyder Cut is happening on HBO Max. Further evidence it's happening also comes from the fact that Justice League actors including Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ray Fisher, and Joe Manganiello, you know, the Deathstroke guy, in addition to Zack Snyder and members of his production crew, promoted Release the Snyder Cut on social media, which appears to have been a planned marketing campaign in conjunction with the 2-year anniversary of the theatrical release of Justice League. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And granted, it got it trending, and that was a final push of evidence of, look, there is interest in this, and it's not only has there been interest, but it seems to be growing. There's other people who kind of changed their mind on it and say, well, you know what, I want to see it now. You know, I'm intrigued by this, you know, and it's gained a legend, and boy, I hope it's good. I want to see it regardless, but I know it has to be better than the one we got. But so that all building up to it, and this was sort of the culmination for its 2-year anniversary, and so that's why the campaign happened. And so my guess is that things were already being discussed and in the works before this happened. You know, just all of a sudden, okay, there's a lot of trending. Okay, let's release it. You know, they're building up to their streaming service, and something like this can go a long way to give it a boost. So, yeah, Zack Snyder's been releasing images. He had this cool one of Batman. This looks more like I would have thought from Batman versus Superman, but he's been releasing these black and white images from his cut. So maybe there was some fight that Batman had to do here. So look, just hands that Ben Affleck made a great Batman. I'm sorry, he just did. Zack Snyder's coming to the Lords of Longbox YouTube channel offers the Release the Snyder Cut will get an HBO Max release. Redditors are also pointing out that promos for HBO Max are now using scenes from the Snyder Cut that do exist in the Whedon version as well. Plus, I'm not sure if because there were some of these early trailers for the Justice League, and it was all of Snyder's footage that you don't see in the movie, the one that went to theaters. So maybe I haven't paid much attention to the promos. Like I said, I was not all that interested. Now I am. So this seemed to be of some interest with Snyder, but also what I didn't know, and of course, yeah, Kevin Smith was a long, promo for his show talking about what the original cut, or at least one version of it anyway, detailed a lot of that, which gave me the sense that, yeah, it was at least a better plot than what you saw. And HBO is also said to have liked a tweet about Release the Snyder Cut. Okay, if that's the case. But I think somewhere he says in here that Warner Brothers has now followed Zack Snyder on Twitter. Where, come on. Oh, well, I thought he said that in here. Jesus, this is embarrassing. Right in the middle of the video. Yeah, here, I forgot about this. It also points out that Warner Brothers has just started following, it was right there, and I didn't even, what an idiot, Zack Snyder on Twitter. So that's perhaps the fences have been mended, and they're in talks, and yeah, will release this as part of the HBO Max, premiere or what have you, and say, hey, look, you'll get this. So yeah, there's been a lot of campaigning for it, a lot of people wanting to see it, and it just grows in interest and piques one's curiosity at the very least of wanting to see this, and so that can go a long way of saying, hey, this is the big problem right here. 15 a month, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to pay it and finally see the original Justice League. So anyway, yeah, these are some of the images he released. There's Gal Gadot dubbing in lines here, and this was actually kind of late in the project, as I recall. Well, this is Zack Snyder directing her to do this scene, and that I think is supposed to be Darkseid, an unfinished digital image of him. And I think this is a scene where she's telling Bruce Wayne the history lesson story of what the war was that leads to Steppenwolf coming back to the Earth or what have you. But apparently in the original history lesson, it was Darkseid, or Yuxes, as his original name was, back thousands of years ago, fighting the Olympians and the Atlanteans and the Amazons and all that. So then there's this one. Well, this one plays into another description where it appears Aquaman, obviously here, stabbing Steppenwolf in the back with his trident. And I think the scene was supposed to be he tosses him up, Superman flies in, hits him, and he falls back, and then Wonder Woman aims for the head, and she doesn't miss. And so his head goes flying into the boom tube, which this circle appears to represent from this image. And his head lands at the feet of Darkseid. And apparently that's where it ends, I think. This image is another one of these where, like the Batman, where I'm thinking, isn't this from Batman versus Superman? It's this unfinished digital work of what I believe that was Doomsday, because you can see the wound in Superman's chest. And but there again, he was in his dress clothes suit when he's in the coffin. So I wouldn't have thought that this would be like Steppenwolf or someone grabbing him out of the grave and resurrecting him or what have you. So, he might have lived a little bit longer in that scene, screaming as he died. I don't know, in Doomsday's hands. So, but it's interesting to note that it's unfinished visual effects that from Batman versus Superman, perhaps, and they just went in a different direction for that scene and just didn't use it, and so didn't finish it, And then there's a few others here. That's obviously from Batman versus Superman when he was, on that oil rig. And there's Henry just, dressed casual, as per usual. And this one, apparently, Zack Snyder tweeted or put it on Vero, I can't remember which, and then deleted it. Because why didn't Henry Cavill join in on this, is he mad? Is Superman mad? Granted, he's somewhat humiliated by the mustache crap. And then also, Man of Steel didn't perform to what Warner Brothers wanted, but it didn't lose money. It was profitable. But and I thought it was a bit of a mistake to suddenly make it a Batman movie. And so he's a guest star in his own sequel. And that probably irked him to somewhat. But come on, Henry. You got to think about the fans here. So I don't know if there's some bad blood between him and Zack Snyder, what have you. And so he deleted it. So, okay, he didn't do that. Because he's like, no, I'm still mad. I don't know. Who knows? And more. This is Batman vs. Superman. And then there's this, I think, is from the Zack Snyder cut. Bruce Wayne working on weaponry he's going to need for his mission against the forces of Steppenwolf. And, of course, Cyborg here. Wonder Woman. This appears to be at the Star Lab scene, I think, where Cyborg's father gets killed by Steppenwolf. And so I get maybe Wonder Woman arrived on the scene at the time and too late or what have you. I don't know. I've seen this image before somewhere, I'm sure, of Aquaman. And then, they're best buds. And Momoa said he's seen the film. And so there you go. Yeah, it exists. And plus, Zach at his SnyderCon shindig that he threw a while back, I said, yeah, I got it. It's done. So, Ezra Miller's Barry Allen here when he did that, in Batman vs. Superman, where, because his hair was longer in that scene than in the Justice League. And, he stopped the robbery as the Flash. And this, I don't know if that's actually him standing there or if this is just an animatic type deal of what Flash was supposed to do at the end in Justice League. And then there's poor Iris. Imagine that, a woman of color cut from a film. Joss Whedon, what were you thinking? Yeah. So, just for whatever reason, for time, I suppose, they cut out the whole budding romance between Barry and Iris West. And then here we have probably Victor Stone's dad about to be murdered by Steppenwolf as he retrieves the mother box. And another bit of Victor. We don't see the human side of Victor Stone. He's already cyborg when we see him in the movie. Apparently we got some backstory on him. And it would have been interesting how different of a guy was he before now this cybernetic thing has merged with him, creating a new person, really. And that's part of the aspects of Cyborg's story. So kind of needed to see that for his own story, but then there was some rumblings about they might want to do a Cyborg film, and they could have used that footage, but I don't think it was ever going to come together. Maybe, after this version, there might be interest in something like that. I don't know. So there you go. According to this, it's apparently a done deal, and hopefully that's true, and we can look forward sometime next year to see the Snyder Cut on HBO Max. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you.